Hello and welcome everyone to my review of Deadpool 2. I just came out of the cinema literally right now, going to pick up my daughter from school. I had some free time. The movie came out here in Thailand about 2 or 3 days ago. Some of my friends went to see it. I asked them how was it before I came over to the cinema. They say it was funny, but not as good as part 1. Which is always the thing that people say. In my opinion here right now, talking after I just came out of the movie. The movie is flipping amazing. I loved it. I actually loved it more than part 1. For me, the origin stories are pretty boring in general. Deadpool was a breath of fresh air, obviously, into the whole, the movie scene, like the Deadpool 1. But 2, double down, it made everything better in my opinion. Like, the jokes are great. There's a lot of funny moments. Please stay for the post-credit scenes as well, because that's some of the most hilarious stuff that I've ever seen that made me laugh out loud in the cinema. The action is amazing. Yeah, the CG at times gets a bit sketchy because I guess they had budget constraints, obviously, but it's still miles better than it was in part 1. So yeah, I mean, the Cable, the guy. First, okay, the acting. Ryan Reynolds is usually killing it, both in terms of his own character that he's playing, Wade Wilson, right? And also as a Deadpool, like, he's killing it. The jokes are fun. The opening of the movie is quite serious. Wouldn't expect it, but luckily you know that everything will sort itself out at the end. So the rest of the characters are great. The Colossus is there as usual. That's great. The guy who plays the Cable is really good. I think he actually fits that role perfectly. I mean, I remember watching the X-Men cartoon, and I remember the Cable character. So this guy nails it. It pretty much nails it, and I hope we get to see more of him in the future. The fight scenes are nicely done, choreographed. At first I was a bit worried when I thought that there's not enough Deadpool on the screen, but okay, that was the first quarter of the movie, maybe 1/3 of the movie. But then everything picks up again, and by the end you're just sitting there grinning with a big smile and thoroughly enjoying the movie. The soundtrack is great. There are some very old songs and some new songs, and I mean it matches perfectly. The other supporting cast is great as well as usual, just like in the previous movie. Obviously you'll see some new characters, I'm not going to spoil that. Some jokes and quirks that you probably might not expect, but they just made the movie so much better. What else is there? I mean, overall, if I had to give this movie a rating, I would probably rate it 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Easily. For me, I'd say Deadpool 1 is 8.5 or 8 out of 10. I'm not saying if you love the part 1, then maybe this one you'll see it a little bit repetitive or something. I don't know, in terms of. But that's another question I have, is where are they gonna take it next? What they can do that they haven't done before. Thing is, obviously the story, with X-Men, right? They can always come up with new villains and new things to do and stuff. But Ryan Reynolds taking the jokes further, how much further can you go? Eventually I think that will start to feel maybe a little bit flat, but you never know. I love the character. So many nice jokes in the movie, loaded with jokes, and most of them are really hilarious. There are some that you might just it's a bit flat, but in general, yeah. So what I want you to do is just don't listen to anyone who says this is better, that is better, anything like that. Go watch it and decide for yourself. And I think that it's our duty to support movies like that, so that other companies can see the success and start making more mature comedies and action movies and so on. It was clearly the success of the Deadpool 1 that made the the Logan movie happen, with the proper age rating, proper violence, and portraying Wolverine as he's supposed to be, in all the cartoons and comic books and everything. So it's our duty to support something like that, so we get more movies like this. Not only should we get another part, Deadpool 3 for example, but we also need to make sure that other producers and companies see that success and that the fans support it and try to make more of this kind of content for us to enjoy. Because it's really if you compare the old style action comedies and you compare to Deadpool, like the difference is night and day. There are some quirks and jokes and amazing moments that you just can't do when it's PG-13 or even less, you know, like a family movie. So yeah, go out and watch this movie, support it, especially now that Infinity War is still going strong. They released it very close to the Infinity War. I wish they waited a little bit. I just want to make sure they get what they deserve in terms of box office revenue. And please do not forget, do not walk out from the cinema straight away. There will be a couple of post-credit scenes and they're going to be spread out, and there's one in particular that you need to know and you need to watch it because it's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please go out, support this movie as I said, and I'll see everybody on the next episode of Game Vortex.